Hello, welcome to Evans Mill. I'm Jason, your executive chef. Today we are going to be continuing our knife series, and we actually get to cut something today, so it's pretty exciting. We're going to work on showing you some basic cuts, some of the classic cuts, some of the fancy French names, and I want you to kind of think about utilization. Like, what am I cutting this up for? What does it make sense? How should I cut it based on that dish? And I'm going to show you how to square up a carrot. A carrot's a good vegetable kind of practice on, so you can work on your skills, and then at the end you didn't waste much. You can throw them all in a salad or make a pot carrot ginger soup. Alright, so today we're going to start out. We got our knife, we got our carrot. I went ahead and cut a few examples just so you guys can kind of see those, and we'll work our way through them. But starting out, let's take our carrot and we're going to square it up into a block. So I'm going to take the end off. I'm going to take about a 3-inch section, cut that off, and we're going to, when I say square it up, we're going to stand it up, and I'm going to cut the rounded sides off. And this is going to help give us a block that we can make some nice even strips out of. So you guys have got sharp knives now, I know that. Alright, so once we get our block, let's start out with the smallest. I mean, these have fancy names. This is Julienne, this is Bâtonnet. The Julienne, you're typically around about 1/8 of an inch thick, and then about 2.5 inches long or so. So for your Julienne, we're going to make some nice slices, about 1/8 of an inch thick off this block. And then we can take our block and make our strips. And this is our nice Julienne. So again, you don't need to get in a hurry. This is a nice way to practice, kind of getting comfortable with the knife. And then, once we've done our Julienne, if you were to dice these up, we have what we call brunoise. And these are basically little 1/8 of an inch cubes. And when I talked about utilization, really, would you want to spend all this time cutting up something this small and then just throw it in a pot of soup that is just going to get all mashed up? No. So something like this we would probably use as a garnish, maybe on consommé, or a nice brothy soup that you can just kind of throw it in at the end as a garnish, or maybe on top of a dish of potato salad, or something like that. If you're going to spend a lot of time cutting those, you want to be able to see them and show them off. So let's see, let's cut our bâtonnets. So we went from 1/8 of an inch. These are going to be more of like a 1/4 inch thick, and then we can make our strips out of that. So we've got our bâtonnet. Now these would be good for like a stir fry, something like that. The Julienne, maybe on a salad. So if we take our bâtonnets and we were to dice those up, we end up with what we call small dice. And those are looking at like a 1/4 inch cube. And again, you want to, I mentioned, just focus on being consistent with the vegetable. Don't worry about it being perfect. I would rather see them all pretty much the same size than each one of them being perfect. You're going to use them, they'll look great. So let's see. After we got our small dice, then we work up to kind of our medium dice, and those are even kind of what we might call large dice, or I kind of chunked those up. So to get your large dice, again, we can square up that carrot. And if you want to, I'm just used to standing them up. You can lay that down, probably a little bit safer, and then you can just roll it over to square it up. I'll give you a different example. And then for our medium dice, we're looking at about a 1/2 inch cube. Let's square that up again. Again, we got our bear claw, got our knuckles out, thumb back. That's mainly what you're working on when you're practicing these. Getting comfortable holding that knife, getting comfortable holding the vegetable. The carrot's really dense, so it's not the easiest vegetable to cut. So it's good practice. Alright, let's get another carrot. And next we're going to do, we've got our large dice. So this one would be great in maybe like a minestrone soup, something you're going to cook for a decent amount of time. So it's going to stay, it's going to keep its shape. But it will take a little bit longer to cook it so you can develop some flavor in that soup. Something like this, where it's your larger cut, maybe in a beef stew, or if you're roasting some things in the oven, that would be good. We've also got over here, this is what I call my no-roll cut. And to do that one, you take that block or that chunk of carrot, cut it in half, and then you're going to basically cut like a triangle. The reason you call it no roll is because it's not going to roll around while you're trying to cut it. Sounds pretty complicated, but it's a nice safe way to kind of chunk up a vegetable. And then we've got working into our rounds. That's pretty easy. You're just going to make slices on the carrot using that knuckle, kind of pushing down and forward with that knife all in one motion. So we've got our rounds. Over here we've got our bias rounds. We're going to take a chunk off, and then so basically you're cutting that carrot on an angle. I'm not sure you can see that good, but you're going to cut. This is going to kind of elongate that carrot slice a little bit. Looks pretty neat. I like to use these on veggie trays because you can get a lot of dip on there. That's good. And then we've got our half moons. Let's get another chunk of carrot. Alright, and you guys can look on our recipe blog and get all that carrot ginger recipe soup for the soup. You're going to need it. So on your half moons, then we just got to cut carrot in half, do some nice slices, and we've got our half moon. Alright, and there's lots and lots of other cuts. So you guys get your carrots, get them going, and you guys practice your cuts. Thanks.